Well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world. Well, today, we're introducing revolutionary products of this class.
This video is brought to you by Magical.
This is the newest member of the family. Meet Lucy. She is a 3-month-old kitten, and she has a bell on her collar, and you're gonna hear her running around and jiggle, jiggle, jiggle the whole video. I can't do anything about that. I have to know where she is and what she's up to, because she's even worse than my son, Oscar, who already gets up into a lot of mischief. So say hello to everybody. With that out of the way, I was not prepared for Apple Vision Pro. I don't even know where to begin. I unboxed this yesterday in the same outfit, same getup. I sat here thinking like, yeah, I'll be able to handle it. I'll be able to like talk intelligently about this. And I put it on and I set it up and my mind melted. I was watching 2 hours of footage that I got, and it was like watching somebody learn how to walk and like simultaneously appreciate that. It was like, oh, like, whoa, like, it's nuts. And I might release that footage just because it's like so interesting socially, whatever, to watch myself experience this completely crazy thing, which is this device or this, you know, spatial computing concept. Yeah, I wasn't ready. I don't think you're ready. I don't think a lot of people know what they're getting themselves into when they wear, the headset for the first time. If you go to the store, if you buy one for yourself. I mean, multi-touch was already super crazy when Steve was like, you know, when he was on stage and he's like, and you see this? Like, you wanna know how you scroll? You take your finger and you go like that. Yeah, that's what this is like. So, you're probably not ready. I wasn't ready, and this is a treat and a half, and I'm literally going off the script. What is the point of my intro? Okay, here we go, I'm back on track. I swear to you, I write these videos before I shoot them, but you know, undiagnosed ADHD for you. In this video, I'm going to be distilling the crazy 36-hour experience I've had with this device. I mean, it's completely derailed my existence. I've been thinking about it nonstop and what it means and just the sort of general takeaways that I have for now. This is not a full review, that'll be coming later. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's put this on here. But before I do, let's kind of admire the hardware here. It's really lovely. It's designed with so much care and love, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it looks really cool and also badass, kind of like you're a Terminator or like an android or a robot when you put this on. But yeah, it takes design cues from the Apple Watch, the iPhone. You got the digital crown, you got the button like you have with AirPods Max. It's like a culmination, an amalgamation of a bunch of, you know, Apple devices all into one, with some new design choices as well, with the dual loop and the solo loop. Here's the solo loop here. You can wear this. It's a lot more aesthetically pleasing. There's a little tightening knob here, but if you're gonna want long-term comfort with this, you're gonna wanna put it on with this because it has a strap that goes over your head. But yeah, and I also have the Zeiss inserts in here, if you can see them. They're like literally magnetically attachable. I'll take this off so you can see. So you can, this is so awkward to show you, but yeah, it's like, here they are. Here they are, everybody. You put them on, and there you go. $149 for you on top of the $4,000 you're spending. I got the terabyte one because I'm that guy. But no, they're not coming out with another one of these for like 3 years, so I wanted it to last. So anyway, here it is. You also got the spatial pods here. What else did I write about design? And okay, here are my official talking points. I wrote, you know, design taste is subjective. I think this is sort of high fashion, dystopian, cool looking. You know, to each their own. I just literally broke the light seal. That's great. It's kind of clumsy too, I'm not gonna lie. Stuff kind of comes unmagnetically attached, so you gotta be careful. That's why I'm glad I got Apple Care on this for another $500. It's crafted very meticulously. It is a little bit hefty, I'm not gonna lie. Marquez has said it, a lot of people have said it, but I don't really mind it. I don't really notice it, especially with the dual loop on, which is definitely more, you know, what you're gonna wanna wear for longer usage cases. The light seal is almost perfect. There's some light that comes in between my nose, but I've sort of gotten used to that as well. The battery is also not too cumbersome. It is, I feel like I'm about to scratch it every single time I use it. Here it is right here. So I'm definitely gonna get a case for that. I've already ordered the $50 case from Belkin, you know, just $50 here, $200 for this case right here, you know. I thought, I'm spending this much money on this device, I might as well get all the ridiculous accessories. And you know what? I'm glad I have this little package here that I'm gonna keep like an original iPhone with the bag and the box and all that. So, you know, first gen products are always fun. And last up, you're talking about the physical aspects of this device. Plugging in while using it is not bad at all. It's really out of the way. All you need is a high-powered brick and like a long enough cable. And if you're sitting in a place like a chair, your bed or whatever, you're not gonna be moving anyway, so it's not a big deal. But when you wanna get up, you just unplug and, you know, continue on, go outside, whatever you wanna do. I've been outside outside. It's a wild experience, but I'll touch on that later. But let's put the headset on, shall we? I will take my glasses off, which is something I really don't do in videos here. Yeah, let's put this on here in 3, 2, 1. And what's great is now I don't even have to use my iPhone to cheat and use my script. I can actually pull it up in Vision Pro in files. But let me put the battery in my lap here so this looks a little less more conspicuous, less conspicuous, whatever the word is. Let's tuck the cable behind me here. You know, first gen products are always fun. Okay, so I am now screen recording so you can see what's going on here. I have my script here, which is really funny, so I can cheat and not forget what I'm supposed to say. And my cat is walking into the room. I love how I can just simultaneously experience all of this. So let's pull up the little menu here. So here we are. This is the experience. Let me actually reference my script and what I'm supposed to be saying here. Okay, so the first point here, let's pull this closer. The navigation is nuts. And it is nuts because it's just so intuitive. You use your eyes and you use your hands. It's just like multi-touch in that, you know, you use your fingers, you know, you're born with them. It's super simple. You scroll like that. I mean, it's the same thing here. You wouldn't think it, but the sensors and the cameras and everything in here make it super simple. So basically, wherever you look, it's sort of like your cursor hitting something. So if I want to like look at the bottom here and I want to close this, I can do that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just put this over here on the ceiling out of the way. But yeah, if I want to click this little green dot, for example, I just look at it and then I take my 2 fingers and I just tap like that. And here I am. And you can see I'm screen recording here, but I can go here and I can click the apps. And if I want to scroll here, I can just go back and forth. It is absolutely nuts. Let me pull my notes back here and show you. I'm navigating to find my script here. Yeah, it's incredibly accurate. It's super fun. I've been demoing this on the phone with people with FaceTime. I'll talk about that later. But I mean, just like, it is so much fun to manipulate the windows and just sort of pull things here and back and, you know, place like more than one window, for example. I can pull up another app here. We can open Safari, for example. Let's do that. Here we go, Mashable. Let's go to the Magic Keyboard website I had open a minute ago or a few hours ago. So yeah, I mean, just like, and you would think like a website would have really specific buttons that wouldn't work. Nope, I can like literally specifically pick AirPods, for example. There we go. I can explore all AirPods and scroll with my fingers here. It's just, I mean, like, it's like telepathy. Like, you just know how to do it. And that brings us to our next point here. The spatial experience is quite something. I'm not gonna get up just for the sake of this video. You know, I'm gonna probably have B-roll of me standing up or whatever. And having more than one window open here. Can you stop? Oh, I can't deal with this. Oh my God. Hey, no, we're just not, honey. Honey, we're not. No, 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 no. Get out, thank you. Love how you can see that. Normally you can't see the cat parenting that I have to do. Okay, let me make sure my screen is recording here. Great, select. All right. Okay, so now that we have multiple windows open here, I can actually open something else here. How about we do news? So I can go to compatible apps and then news, and then just have that. How about up here? The spatial experience is just unreal as I read that right here. So it really maps your indoor space or outdoor space super well. So you just like see these panes like in space as if they're there, and you can jump up and down and move. I'll probably have a clip where I'm jumping and they stay right where they are, like they are literally a fixture in your physical space. And like it's almost like you can just like reach out and touch them and punch them and break them like they're panes of glass. It's the weirdest, trippiest thing. And again, you can just place them anywhere, on the ceiling, on the floor. I mean, like right in front of you. You can put them anywhere you want. You can have whatever configuration you want. You know, talk about multiple monitors. What about this? I mean, these things just stay wherever you want them to. And also, of course, you can resize them as well. So I can make this super big. I can bring it closer. I can bring it further away. I can take up that whole wall here. Of course, I can do the same thing here and here. It's just wild. And they also like cast shadows. Do you see how I'm like dragging it across here? Like it makes it look like it's literally part of your physical space. Once again, that's why like it feels like you can just break these like they're panes of glass. And you know, as you can see here, I'm sort of manipulating them back and forth. You can also carry them with you into other rooms. I'm not gonna do that here on camera, but I'm gonna have a clip where I'm showing you that doing it outside or in my, you know, apartment. It's just really cool to be able to bring these with you. Like if you open a window in your living room, you leave it there if you walk into the other room. And then if you do that, you can summon it. So if I like, you know what, I'm actually gonna do this. Well, I'm gonna like kind of get up and like put this over here. Okay, so I put a window over there. I can like summon it here, and it's a little more dramatic when it's further away. But here it is back in my space. So it's very spatial, it's very literal. You open a window in a given space, it stays there. I think one of my friends, Isaac, aka Canoopsy, said like, I left my Safari like window in the grocery store. Yeah, that's how it works. I mean, of course, maybe not to that extent, but I mean, it's the same concept. You open a window in a space, it stays there unless you summon it. Otherwise, you come back and it's still there. These app windows also take on the lighting in your room, which is just crazy. It makes them look really real. So on top of shadows, as you can see here, my lamp is behind there, and if I put this Apple Music window here, you can see the lamp shining through. So it's just quite wild that it really makes these apps feel super real indoors or outdoors or wherever you have them placed. Next up though, let's talk about keyboard input, and there's two ways to input text into your, virtual AR spatial computing environment. You can use dictation, which always works, so I can like look at the dictation button and go, Apple News. And it'll search, and there we go. I'm looking at Apple News. Or you can use the keyboard, and here it is right here, and it seems like this would be super hard to control, especially like I've seen keyboards in like Meta Quest or Oculus, and you gotta use like remotes and whatever, or people use keyboards. Of course, you can do that here, but this virtual keyboard works really well. You can't use it like you would a normal one, but if you use your index fingers, it'll work really nicely. So I can type in, for example, Vision Pro. And it took me a minute to learn this. Like, see, I typed a O instead of a P, but I mean, like, it works pretty well, and it's super fun. It might not be the fastest way to do it, but I mean, yeah, it works really, really well here. I can do something else again. Let's do, I don't know, NVIDIA, go. And there we go. So the keyboard works really, really well. What else do I have here about it? Oh, see, I almost forgot something. You can also use your eyes to type as well. So you can like literally look at the keys. So I can like press the delete button. So I'm staring at the delete button, tap, 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 tap. And then I can like type in, for example, hello, space, world. And I'm just staring at the keys once again. I would say typing is more fun. Dictation is the most quick. But you can also look at the keys, which is pretty efficient as well. So hello world programs. So there you go. That's the way the keyboard works. It works surprisingly well, and it's super fun. And like futuristic, it feels like a Star Wars hologram. Like, let's do it again. Like, it's so, every single time this is fun. This has not been not fun the entire time I've owned this. I'm sure it'll get a little old after a while, but I don't know. I don't think so. So I can look up, how about we look up me? I'm gonna do that. Type in my own name. Look at that. Typical YouTuber behavior. Here we go, Noah Herman. Here we go. There we are. Internet personality, I guess that's fitting. And speaking of tapping on the keyboard, interacting with UI, you can do that with other UI elements as well. And I don't know why I didn't put this together, but I don't think Apple marketed this as well as like the sort of like from a distance manipulation of the UI, which is super cool. But you can literally pull windows up close like this and interact with them and scroll. This is some Star Trek, Star Wars, futuristic stuff, and it's so exciting, and it has not got old, and I don't think it's going to. It is so much fun to just interact with like what seems to be like a giant iPad in front of you, like a big like smart board or something. You can make it huge, and you can just scroll. Like, that is just wild. So I can put that back over here. It's even more exciting with like an app like Safari, for example. So here we are on the Apple website. I can interact with individual UI elements just like you would with the mouse cursor, for example. We can also go to another tab like Amazon. You can just shop on Amazon, go back, look at the listings, like you're like tapping on your own personal giant smartboard, and I can resize the window too and just continue to do that. I can take my whole hand and just scroll. It's so cool. And here we are with news. This is like an iPad app. You can use it the same way you would on an iPad. Tap on News Plus, sports, whatever. It's super accurate because of all of these sensors and cameras and whatnot. I mean, like, it's unreal. So yeah, this is like my favorite new thing to do with this. It feels like I have like many personal iPad, touchscreen IMAX TVs in front of me, and I find this so much more stimulating and exciting than just sort of like from a distance doing this. But if you're watching something like HBO, for example, I can pull it up here. We can look up, and I can go to the app thing. Notice how navigation is super intuitive too, like super quick. So cool. I can go to Max. Obviously, if I move these windows out of the way, I'm not gonna wanna touch this. I mean, I can touch this window up close like this, but for the best viewing experience, you're gonna wanna push it back and, just sort of from a distance scroll. But yeah, if you really want to, once again, you pull the window up close, and there you go. You're just scrolling like you would on an iPhone or an iPad. Mind-blowing stuff. Oh wait, before I forget, I want to play a game, you know, talking about how you can like use the Windows like an iPad. You can play iPad games like the same way you would on an iPad. So I can just go continue here in Angry Birds. This is so crazy. This is one of the first games I got on my iPod Touch. So to use it in such a new form factor, it's like deja vu times 10 and way better all over again. So much more exciting. Here we go. Look at this. I can tap the UI like you would on an iPod, on an iPad, whatever, and I can literally just touch the bird. Oh, wait, I'm not even mad. I want to do it again. It's crazy. And of course, you can just push that back here and do the same thing. I'm looking at the bird. And like, but that's not as fun, you know, bring it close up. So like some tasks, it's more fun to use it up close like this or more, you know, cool. And then other tasks like HBO, for example, I just push back and, you know, that's not HBO, but you get the picture. Like it's just better to just sort of manipulate the UI from a distance. So again, just like, this is so much fun. Like there's no other way to put this. There's no scientific, intellectual way to sound. It's just, it's so cool. Something else that's almost or just as cool though is pass-through display with your Mac, whatever it's called, extended display. I don't know, I'll just show you. So you open up your Mac, make sure it's updated to the most recent Mac OS, and you just either look and click on this, or I'm just gonna tap it because that's more fun. So it's connecting to my Mac's display here, and here we go. Here is my Mac's display, and I can just set it up just like I would, you know, resize it, manipulate it, you know, place it in space just like I would any other window. And here it is. There's minimal lag. It's gorgeous. It's pretty sharp. If I bring it up close, it's a lot like looking at a display. Maybe not quite the same. I know the sRGB is a little bit different and the sharpness is like almost there, but not quite. But I mean, like, it's more than good enough. Actually, it's quite exceptional for doing work and some creative stuff. So I can just put it right here, for example, and just completely cover up my Mac's display, which is pretty trippy. This is way bigger than it actually is. This is a 15-inch MacBook Air, so it's not tiny at all, but I can have an even bigger display. This is probably like, what, like 27 inches right in front of me. And I can bring up, for example, Final Cut Pro, and I can just be working. And this, again, this feels just like you would be working on a bigger display, like a studio display. Maybe not quite the same, but I mean, like, even cooler in a way since it's virtual. And of course I can push it back and resize and make it even bigger here. This is quite wild. So yeah, I could be editing something in my living room, on a plane, you know, in my bedroom, on my bed, looking up at the ceiling. I mean, like, there's no limit to where you can put this. So yeah, I mean, just exceptionally cool. You can only do one of these, but honestly, I'm so impressed that it's so low latency and it's this sharp and everything. So I'm not very concerned that this is the limitation for now. Like, we should be appreciative we can do this. It's so cool. What's also nice is that you can have Vision OS apps open alongside the Mac experience, so I can be editing something, or for example, I can go into Lightroom. This is honestly more impressive because you can like see the resolution of these displays. I can zoom in here, super high resolution. Like, this is just wild to me. I can bring this closer, I can inspect a little bit more. I mean, of course you can't like touch it like you would a Vision OS app like I have right here, which of course can coexist right next to it. But yeah, I mean, like, this is so cool. The fact that I can have a display right here, impossibly close to my face, or just impossibly big, completely taking up my entire wall. Like, look at how big this is. That's my entire wall in my giant, you know, living room, which is, I mean, not super giant compared to some, but giant enough. This is probably like, what, like 150 inches, something like that. I mean, just crazy. And I can zoom back out and continue work here. Maybe this isn't the most practical solution always, you know, you can use your, you know, display. Maybe it's better to, you know, like use a pro display or a studio display for some color accuracy reasons. But I mean, like, if you're just doing general work, this is so much fun, so cool. And again, if you're like on a plane or something, or you have limited space, the fact that you can have this big of a display in virtual space is just phenomenal. And conveniently, while we're on the topic of Macs, once again, this video is brought to you by Magical AI and their incredible free AI Chrome extension. Setup is super simple and takes just a few seconds. And on that note, Magical is all about saving you time. Up to 10 hours weekly on the boring, menial work you have to do involved with writing emails, updating forms and spreadsheets, etc. It also works with any site on the web. Two of my favorite Magical features include templates, which allows you to map a fillable phrase or paragraph to a short trigger, both of which you can create. This, for example, can expand to a whole email or response on sites like Gmail and LinkedIn. You can also type / to pull up a menu with your templates as well. This feature is super helpful for me since I'm always behind on tackling my inbox, as some of you may know. My second favorite feature, though, is their AI reply, which really simply automates brief responses that would otherwise be a waste of like a minute or even more. All in all, Magical is a fantastic, streamlined, and from what I find, a very human implementation of AI into my workflow. It allows me to focus on being more personal when writing some messages while completely automating others with phrases and paragraphs just sort of generated that I'd be typing out like a robot anyway. So yeah, get Magical AI free today and shave hours off your work week. Check out my link in the video description, getmagical.com/Noah if you're interested in checking it out. But back to the video though, let's talk about media consumption, and it's been an absolute treat so far. I wish I could use like Max because it's even bigger display-wise, but I'm gonna use YouTube instead. I'll probably show you Max just for the hell of it, but again, you can't see anything. Here I have a Curb Your Enthusiasm video pulled up on YouTube. There is no official YouTube app, but honestly, the Safari experience works so well, it's not an issue at all. I'm gonna keep the volume, well actually, let's like turn the volume on for a second so you can experience that. I can turn the digital crown, I can stare at the little audio icon. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the volume down or off because I'm scared of the dialogue. It's always really colorful and funny. But here you go, I can go full screen. I'm literally staring at the full screen button here. And yeah, you can just have this in your space here, scale it pretty big, bring it closer, bring it further away. That's pretty huge. I mean, that's sort of similar to what I saw with the HBO Max, maybe a little bit smaller, but yeah, you can just take up a whole wall with YouTube. This is an experience like no other. It's super comfortable. You can also put it on the ceiling, so you can be in bed, just staring at whatever movie or YouTube video you wanna watch. Like, I don't want to watch anything else any other way now. And I thought about ordering, like I'm in the future looking to get like a bigger, brighter OLED TV. I don't have an OLED TV right now. I might not, because like, who needs that when you have this? You have micro LED in your eyeballs and you can scale the display way bigger than any TV you could afford could, you know, so why buy a $2,000 TV when you have this? So, you know, that's crazy to me. So yeah, I really don't want to consume media any other way. It is really, really wonderful here. Let me make sure I'm like bringing up everything. Yeah, so media consumption is absolutely wonderful. I'll pull up actually Max here just to show you what the experience looks like, even though nothing will play technically. So I can go here, I can pick Max, and I can again scale that up here. Again, this is how I was showing you this earlier. Could just say like, you know, you can interact with it like this, but it's probably better that you put it back, scale it up big, and sort of interact with it from a distance here. I was watching Chernobyl for the 16 millionth time, and although it's not going to play anything here, yeah, it's black screen, and I'm going to turn the volume down just so that I'm not getting any copyright strikes. But yeah, imagine there was actually something playing here. I could just scale it super big. If I look at the corner here, I can scale that real nice and big. Actually, YouTube was about that size too, so you know, maybe I'm full of it. But yeah, that brings us to our next point here, to the scenery that you can surround yourself with. So you know, this is really helpful or nice or immersive if you're like consuming media, but I'm just gonna show you what this looks like first by itself here. So here I am in my living room. You know, this is nice. The pass-through makes me feel like I'm at home in my space, but I can then immerse myself in a different experience here. And this is Yosemite at night. I'm going to change it to daylight here if I go to the little like control center menu. By the way, I didn't explain that here, but if you look up and you see this little green dot, that's control center. You can just toggle the apps, the control center widget, alerts, and then you can actually go and change your environment mode to automatic or dark or light. I'm gonna change it to light since it's so much more spectacular. This is gorgeous. I mean, the trees, you can see them kind of swaying in the wind a little bit. I don't think I'm making that up. The snow looks pretty real. I mean, the snow is like, I'd say like 80% real. The trees look 95% real. The mountain, it looks, if it was higher res, it would look almost real. It's just gorgeous. And then of course you can just have whatever, you know, media consumption experience in front of you. Actually, I'll open up, well, here we go. Here's this menu here. I'm trying my best to talk in Vision Pro at the same time, as you can tell, but I can open up Safari again, for example. Let's go back to YouTube, and I can just have that open here. Or any window for that matter. It doesn't need to be entertainment. It's wonderful to do this. This is a treat, you know, it's a little, you know, expedition, a little excursion to, you know, this fake national park. These trees, again, they look so high res, it's crazy. There's actually another environment that blows my mind too. I haven't really played with the other ones, but my other favorite one is, let me try to remember what it's called, Mount Hood, simply because the water looks real, dude. Like everything else, like, yeah, you can tell it's virtual. I mean, it looks beautiful. The grass looks really nice. The gravel here looks a little fake if you look at it too close, but like, you know, that looks pretty real. Like, look at the lighting on the trees. I can see stuff swaying a little bit. It's gorgeous. There's trees behind me. There's a clearing, but the water, it looks real. Like, it looks 100% real, which is just mind-blowing. So they really put time into these few environments here, And it does make a difference. And of course you can make it darker too. I can go back to control center. I can go to here. I can change it to dark. So this is super nice when you just want to kick back, relax, and just focus on, you know, whatever's at hand, whatever you're trying to watch. And then of course you have some nice, beautiful scenery. There's stars in the sky. I mean, it's so well mapped. It's just wild. And of course I have my script up here to cheat. Let's see what else I got here. And then of course you can seamlessly sort of transition in and out of your environment. Let me change back to light mode just to demonstrate this more fully. You can just transition out with the digital crown, just like that. And you're back. And you can do it sort of halfway. So like half your room is like your regular space, half the room is this portal into paradise. And you can make it your full experience or not. But yeah, just, it's so well done. I don't know what kind of engineering went into this. It's just unbelievable. Like it's just like the AirPods experience where you have transparency mode and ANC, but like with visuals, which is crazy. And by the way, the spatial audio pods are pretty nice. They work pretty well. But they're not as impressive as AirPods, and you definitely want to have the USB-C ones that have spatial audio because it really makes a difference here. But yeah, the environments here, let's see what else I wrote. Yeah, you genuinely feel immersed into your environment. And speaking of immersion, I don't know why I didn't close my laptop earlier. Let's talk about viewing photos and videos on here that you've taken with your iPhone or with this or in spatial mode or whatever, recording mode. It's really, really great too. Just like watching videos, if not better, it's a completely new way to view just your memories. And there's my cat. So let's open up the Photos app here. I'm gonna go to the little menu, open Photos, and I already have my favorites pulled up here. I got some high-res stuff too, which is really exciting. You can scale this window super, super huge here, of course, with the magical navigations. It's super easy, just like that. And of course, you can pull it towards you as well and interact with this like it's a big iPad or touchscreen. But I'm gonna go like this actually, and just view some of the photos here. So, yeah, it's so immersive. We can look at, for example, here's when I was in Mexico. It's like I'm there. I mean, I'm definitely bigger than I would be in real life, but yeah, it brings you back to the moment here. And you can also navigate here with the carousel at the bottom. If you look at it and just sort of like hold your fingers together and just sort of like pull it along. And of course you can pull this up close to your face and do the same thing here, just like you would on an iPhone, which is crazy. And you can also do pinch to zoom. So here's this picture of my cat here. Let's go to that, maybe one day. It's a little finicky, but I think it'll get better after a while. You can also swipe through like this, which is wild. Let me actually make this a little bit smaller to make sure you can see this, because I know the FOV is a little bit weird, so I can... It also dims your surroundings, which is super cool, so I can just go through here like this. Let's go back to my cat. I can tap on him, and I can zoom in. This works really well up close. This feels so crazy. Like this is some Black Mirror type thing, and of course I can also push it back. Here, I'll go back here actually. I'll push this back, and then I can do that actually here as well in the air. It's a little harder to do. There's a learning curve here for that, but yeah, super cool. I can also just swipe through again. Actually, wait, hold on. I'm still in zoom mode. Oh, there we go. Here's Buckingham Palace, or a video. This is crazy. It feels like I'm kind of there. Let me actually turn the immersion on to make that effect even better. And I can maybe even make this bigger. Let's see here. So let's try that again here, Buckingham Palace. It probably is a little compressed because I'm downloading it, but yeah, let's go even further here. Here's some more, I think maybe in Paris. Yeah, here's the Paris Apple Store. I can zoom in there. Again, this is a little bit compressed, unfortunately. Here's the little Arc de Triomphe. I went to Louis Vuitton and got this wallet. That was fun. What else here? Here's Pompeii. This is crazy. Oh no, here's Rome first. It's super cool to see this super big. I can probably scale this a little bit bigger too. Let me go back. Yeah, there we go. I mean, that's as big as I can scale it for now. I think landscape pictures are a little bit bigger, but here's Pompeii. I can see these beautiful flowers in the ruins. Here is my bedroom or my office with these computers. That's pretty cool. Here's me with Becca Versace in New York. It was really cool meeting her. She works for The Verge. Here's more in New York. Here's in the subway. This feels pretty crazy. It's so crazy, like seeing this in front of me. It's almost like I'm kind of there. So I can almost like walk through, which is just nuts. But yeah, I can also look at it up close too and swipe through here. Here's someone on Halloween. I was sitting across from a 6 Spider-Man costume with AirPods Max, of course. Here's the Fifth Ave Apple Store. They had a really cool launch event there, so too bad I couldn't be there, but at least I could sort of experience it here in my living room. Here's Grand Central Station. Here's the World Trade Center area. I can zoom in a little bit, I think, maybe. So I have to like click on it and then zoom in. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, zooming for me is a little bit of a learning curve. Here's my Airbnb in New York. Here's a nice picture. Here's a high-res picture that I took on a proper camera, and you can really appreciate the resolution here. Yep, there we go. This is just nuts. So it just rendered, it just sort of got all the detail there. You can just see the grain, you can just see all of it. it's really mesmerizing when you have a really high resolution picture like this. I was looking at this earlier, and I put it on the floor in front of me, and especially now that I don't have anything blocking my view, like my living room here, if I like turn the immersion off, you can see like I have a desk, which would kind of ruin the effect, but like it feels like I'm in front of me, if that makes sense. Like I am scaling myself really big, and I'm just like across the room standing. So it's almost like I'm there in the picture. This is just a wild thing to experience. I can also go here. So yeah, just like really cool way to experience photos of yourself, photos of family. Let me actually show you spatial photos and videos. These are really special. Let me go to media types, spatial. So I've captured a couple of these and they're just crazy. So here are my cats. This is a really fun one. It's not the highest resolution stuff. It's like HD for now. I'm sure it'll get higher resolution more later. You can also put it into this panoramic mode and it looks like a 3D video. Like it's really cool. It's not quite real life, but it offers so much more perspective than a regular, 2D video. It almost looks like a nightmare or an apparition, but it's super cool. I can find another one here. Let's go back. This is super cool. Here is a picture I took of my, living room here, which is where I'm sitting, and I can put this into the panorama mode. It feels like I have moved, I've literally skewed my apartment up in space. It's not quite, sharp to the point where it's convincing, but it feels like gravity is pushing me back and my room is tilted up, if that makes sense. This is my desk. This is what it's supposed to be right here. This is really trippy. So I turned the immersion off. So this is where the desk should be. It's now up here. It feels like it's up here. I could reach out and touch it. Just wild. So you could do that with environments and people and things here, which really invokes a lot of emotion. Let me go, and not only emotion, just sensation as well. It feels like there's something here, but let me exit this. Oh, I can actually scroll over. I didn't even know you could do that. Here I am in my living room again. Can I see, I'm learning with y'all here. Oh, here's a picture of my cat. I can't zoom in, but I can definitely bring this close up and experience it. Yeah, it's like peering into a little window. It's so crazy. So there she is. It almost feels like she's alive in this box that I can reach into. I can also go here. Here's my other cat. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Let's go to the little panoramic little mode here. I can tap that. And there he is. It's like he's right here and I can just grab his face and touch him. That's so funny. So yeah, this is definitely quite something. It's not, again, super high res, but it's really cool. Here's a video that I took. This is even crazier. So I can push the view immersive again. So there she is. I can go back. Here he is. Yeah, it's super cool. It feels like you're literally sort of going back in time. It's almost like a tangible representation of a memory. And here's another video that I took. Oh, here I am playing with my cats. This is super cool. Yeah, it feels like I can just reach in and re-experience the moment. Yeah, this is quite nuts. I mean, and the fact that this is you can do this a lot, the bit rate or whatever isn't crazy. You're not racking up crazy file sizes when you're doing this. Nothing like 8K or anything like ProRes level. But yeah, this is really cool. Even though it's not the best resolution, it's quite mad that you can do this. So anyway, yeah, that's spatial videos for you. Also too, you can take them with just this button. You can just tap it to take a picture or hold it. I can demo that real quick here. I can go back into reality here, close the app here, and I can just press this, and I can take a photo of us right here. And I'm not gonna take a video, God forbid I accidentally stop the screen recording, which is right there. I almost pushed stop, that's scary. So I can go back there. But yeah, taking a photo is super simple. I can just look at the camera over there, for example, or how about just this? I'll hold my glasses, how about that? And we'll take a picture. So, boop. And then I can immediately look in the corner and view that, maybe, there we go. I can pull that close. And yeah, it's like peering into a window with me holding glasses. I can go to the immersion again. And yeah, it's like I'm holding the pair of glasses in front of me. It's so weird. If it was higher res, I would be even more freaked out, but I mean, it's so convincing. I mean, it's not quite real life, but close enough. And last up here, as I cheat with my script here, FaceTime calls are really cool, and I've been able to call people and not only show off my persona. Actually, let me see if I can pull that up. Here is my persona. It is definitely kind of uncanny valley. Yeah, let's pull this closer. But it works. I mean, the fact that this is happening in real time is super cool. But yeah, it's gonna get a lot better. It's a little creepy now, but yeah, you can use this for FaceTime. You can see my hands here too, which is really crazy. And let's talk about FaceTime though. So this is who you are in FaceTime, because obviously there's no camera on you to capture you in this headset. But yeah, your persona pops up, but you can also share your experience with someone. And I've done that with several people, and they're so blown away. It's so much fun to show them what I'm doing. So let me see. I'm going to call my friend that I'm always bothering here. Oh, I can't. There's no FaceTime app, but you can use Siri. And if I swear to God, if my HomePod goes off, I'm going to lose my mind. But let's invoke Siri here. Hey Siri, FaceTime Christian. And look at, there's Siri. She's a bubble. Oh yeah. He's gonna answer. Please, God, answer. He always does. This man always pulls through. He's my best friend of like 16 years, going on 17 years. I was just bothering him before I shot this video, so. Thank God. I'm reshooting the video. This man pulled through the first time I shot a video about this, and that footage may never see the light of day, but here I am FaceTiming you. Welcome back, welcome back. Any thoughts about Vision Pro as I've waterboarded you with information about it in the past 30 hours? Any takeaways, Christian? I will probably call you back and complain and talk more about God knows what. Peace out, thank you. And I'm gonna pull this here and just tap the X button. Super crazy. So yeah, FaceTime works. I don't know where my script went. Hold on, let me pull that back out here. Okay, here's my script. Let's see if I covered everything with FaceTime. Yes, I did. And of course, Siri's super cool. Let me do that again. Hey, Siri. There she is. What's the weather like in Ann Arbor? And there it is. She's a bubble. She's beautiful. He, she, they, whatever you want to call it, Siri. And we can exit. Anyway, FaceTime's great. Personas are great. You can show people what you're doing, which is super cool. But yeah, let's get onto the overall positive thoughts about this before I tell you about the pitfalls, sort of the imperfections. Obviously, this is a first-gen device, and that's the first thing I'll say positively. Even though it's first-gen, for me, as a content creator, as someone who talks about tech for a living, of course this is worth it for me, but I'm always trying to be on the bleeding edge. I want to try stuff. This has been a dream of mine, like this specifically, this sort of like interacting with virtual windows and holograms and whatever. This is worth every penny to me. It's gonna hurt, don't get me wrong, you know, every month that I'm paying this off, I'm financing it with my Apple card, I'm getting cash back, but it's not fun. But yeah, I think it's worth it to me here. Let's go back to my notes, hold on one sec. And beyond it being kind of novelty, I mean, definitely this is not like super practical in every way. Beyond entertainment, I definitely am gonna use this for work-related purposes, just to you know, make menial work a little more exciting. I'm gonna see what working is like this with a keyboard and a trackpad pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. And having multiple windows open, of course, is super cool. So of course you can have like, you know, Safari open once again, files open, notes open, you know, you can be doing some research and referencing a document. So I mean, like, there's practical purposes for this, so I'm definitely excited to have more practical usage cases. And of course, using your Mac too is really the best productivity usage case I can think for it right now when I'm on a plane or just here and I want to just like sit back and kick back and, you know, do some work in a sort of unconventional way rather than staring at a monitor. Yeah, I'm, again, excited to use this for some productivity reasons. But there are some downsides, and the first I can think of here, I mean, it's literally in front of me, but that helps, is it's a little bit tricky to calibrate, and it took me a minute to get it right. The Zeiss lenses are a little bit interesting to set up here, but I think that went off without a hitch. I was struggling sort of figuring out where to put the displays, either close together or far away, and I ended up figuring it out after a while, painstakingly doing this sort of calibration process and settings. Here, I can actually pull it up here. I'm not gonna do it because it'll cancel out my screen recording. So if you go to, I believe, Eyes and Hands, and you scroll down, you can realign the displays. I'm not gonna go into that menu, but again, it allows you to just sort of see what's comfortable for your eyes. I have more wide set eyes, so I kind of did it somewhat wide set. Actually, no, I think I ended up settling on having them close together because I think that has to do with sort of the way your eyes focus and unfocus. I find that sort of focusing like this allows me to get the most sharpness out of the experience here. But anyway, yeah, it's a little tricky to calibrate, but you'll get it eventually. Also, the camera pass-through is not perfect. A lot of other reviewers said this. Of course it can't be. It's like smartphone cameras in here. You know, you can't get perfect one-to-one with reality. If anything, it makes me appreciate taking this off. But once you use it for a minute, you get used to it. But yeah, I mean, like, there's motion blur. There's sort of noise happening, some exposure times that are weird. It's definitely not ideal to keep on all the time if you just want to live your your life, but you can at least interact with your surroundings. I can see what my cat is doing. She finally calmed down. I can see what's going on here. I can like lift up a drink, lift up my phone. Using my phone isn't perfect. I mean, I can do it. I just can't hold it super close up. That's a limitation with sort of the way cameras focus, but I mean, like, I can at least do things in my environment decently well, not perfectly well. Obviously my actual reality does look better. Maybe one day it'll look the same, but I doubt that. But I'll eat my words one day, who knows. But yeah, I mean, you can just sort of carry on what you're doing with your life here while also interacting with your virtual space. And that's all that's important anyway. But yeah, camera pass-through is definitely not perfect and something that kind of disappointed me, but whatever. This is a first-gen product. We'll see what happens. And also this experience kind of strains your neck and just your face a little bit after a while. I'm used to it and I'm so excited I don't even care, but I'm sure long-term it's gonna be a bit of a challenge. But yeah, I mean, people have complained about weight, but if you're wearing the dual loop, you know, you look a little goofy, but it's definitely better supported than the solo loop, which definitely does look cooler, but I mean, this is for shorter term usage cases rather than longer term. So if you're wearing this for hours, definitely wear the dual loop. It's a lot more comfortable. Also too, the FOV is not perfect. It's sort of like staring through binoculars. You can kind of see the edges. So it's not as immersive as you may think. However, if you get used to seeing it, you just sort of ignore it. And the experience is so stellar and amazing as it is that for now, there's nothing that compares. So, you know, there's no Gen 2 that has like a wider field of view. So you gotta take what you can get. I'm sure we'll get a wider field of view for now, but or in the future. But for now, it's sort of like binoculars, but I don't really mind, but that's something to keep in mind. The displays are not also perfectly sharp. For whatever reason, I thought that they were going to be. There's no way micro LED is like a really new tech, or maybe it's not, but at least it's newer implemented into stuff like this. It's like the display quality is really sharp. Don't get me wrong. There are some instances where I'm like, wow, but for the most part, it's like 90 to 95% as good as staring at an actual display. That's why I don't think displays are gonna go anywhere for a while on your phone or on your laptop, or if you have like a nice display, like a studio display or a pro display or whatever, those are gonna be sharper and you're gonna be able to see more in focus at a given time. Whereas with this, it's like wherever you're staring is mostly in focus. I'm sure you're gonna be able to see that in the screen recordings. Not everywhere is in focus. It sort of sharpens what you're looking at and sort of like blurs other stuff. So I can look here, it's more sharp over here now, it's more sharp over here because I'm looking here. So that's just the nature of your eyes in general, and that's the nature of Vision OS, which is pretty cool, but also something to get used to for sure. So yeah, I would say the sharpness is not 1-to-1, it's more like 9-to-10, which is pretty decent if you'd ask me. You know, you got more than 5 or 4K for each eye. I would imagine that would be the case. Let's scroll back down here. What else here? I said the displays. There's also a little bit of glare, especially in like dark environments here. Like, let me change the, I can change this to dark, and like, yeah, like when you have like really big white windows, I can see sort of glare in what I imagine is the prescription lenses. Maybe that's just a problem that I have. If you have the Vision Pro and you have prescription lenses, let me know if you run into the same issue. So that's a little disappointing, but it's forgivable, I guess, but whatever. We'll see if that's fixed or if it's just the nature of having extra glass in front of these displays. Another downside is that the battery is definitely kind of small. I mean, 2.5 hours is decent. You can walk around outside for a minute. You know, you can definitely get your experience walking around your apartment or your house or whatever. So that's nice. So you have enough time to experience that, but you are in limited time. So when you want to sit down for a longer duration, definitely plug in, get a long USB-C cable, get a proper power brick 30-watt plus, and you'll be fine. So you know, what I do is I sit down, I have long sessions, and then I will just unplug and you know, carry on and walk around and then sit back down and plug back in. So it's not a big deal, but it's something to keep in mind. This is just sort of a pitfall of a first generation product, apparently. I'm sure there was a limitation here in terms of the capacity here and output and whatever. And also too, this is an aluminum case. I feel like I'm about to scratch the hell out of this every single time I use it. So I got the Belkin case clip thing for it, and I can't wait to put that on here simply because I want to keep this in good shape and also clip it to my belt because it's very slippery. And it looks really beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it can slip out of your pocket, especially if you're wearing like track pants like I am. And last up, of course, the price is insane. The price is crazy. It's on my card. I can't believe I spent this much money on it, but this is my job, so at least I can expense it. At least this is like something I can, you know, full disclosure, make money off of. But if you're not that person, you're really spending a lot for this experience. And don't get me wrong, it is absolutely magical, but it's like $4 grand at the end of the day. So you gotta be really into it if you want this, you know, so you gotta bite the bullet, and it still sucks for me. You know, I have bills to pay, you know, my liquidity is like this purchase is a fraction of my liquidity in the bank. Like, it's not comfortable, but I'm doing it because that's what I gotta do. So yeah, the price is crazy, but I think I'm getting my money's worth, but eventually I hope we have more affordable versions. But all in all, this is a mesmerizing glimpse into the future. I wrote that here. It's pretty great right now. So if you have money to spare, or you cover Apple products like me, you know, get one of these. It's a great time. It's very first gen, but again, it's very well done. And you won't regret buying it if you really like this and you're gonna appreciate it. It has its imperfections, but I mean, like, there's really nothing quite like this. Somebody asked me today, oh, what makes the Meta Quest 3 better? I mean, there are probably, you know, positives to it hardware-wise. That's lighter. You can do more with it in some other aspects. But in terms of the user experience, in terms of the operating system, this does not compare. There is nothing like this at all. So yeah, that is why I wasn't ready. That is why you're not ready. Book a demo, buy one of these, do what you gotta do, or hop on the Gen 2 train that'll be coming in 2027. So maybe if you're lucky, you can snag one of these used or at a discount or whatever. I don't know, we'll see, or buy one now. You only live once. I had a friend who got one on a whim. You know, I was super surprised, but he was really convinced about it too. And I just know that when Apple does stuff like this, they usually do it well from, you know, out the gate, and that's exactly what this is here. It's not perfect, but it is super well done, and it has changed my life. You know, one of my YouTuber friends, Christopher Lawley, said, he's like, oh, I went and got a demo of Vision Pro, and it was like my life before, and then after the demo, it was like after Vision Pro. I get it. It is crazy. I saw Casey Neistat's review of it. He says it's one of the most impressive pieces of tech he's ever used. It's not perfect, but again, there is nothing quite like it. It is just a gorgeous experience, and I'm just so proud of Apple for putting this together. Obviously, I am a fan of their company, you know, full disclosure, you know, it's a little biased over here, although hopefully nuanced, as you can tell, but you be the judge of that. But yeah, I mean, they always take the time to do it right, and this is no exception at all. Anyway, thank you for watching this very long video. Check out my links in the video description to Magical. Thank you again for them for making this video possible. And also check out my link to my SKYLINE wallpaper packs as well on Gumroad. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.